When multiplying decimals, we like to start out with whole number by decimal. So whole number times a decimal. And problems like this are really easy to put into word problems so they can see context. Like a word problem such as 4 people went to the movies and each movie ticket cost $5.75. And this makes sense to students and they can see it, and then they can typically what they'll start out with is repeated addition. So they'll do 575 plus 575 4 times, and they'll get their answer. And this is an acceptable way to solve this problem because repeated addition is multiplication, vice versa. So 5 plus 5 is 10, carry the 1. Get 15, carry the 1. We get 1150. And I'm just going to go ahead and double that because we have 4 people going. And I will get $23. So the total is $23. And when I see students do repeated addition, I say, great job, that's one way to solve it. And then I do ask them, okay, now go ahead and try it multiplying. And a way to multiply, I like them to use estimation, just to see if they can get an answer that'll be pretty close. So I ask them to round the decimals. So 575 would round up to 6. 6 times 4 is 24, so they know their answer is going to be around 24. This is our estimate. So I want them to estimate over there. And when they go to multiply it, 575 times 4, or 5 and 7500ths times 4, I'll do standard algorithm. 4 times 5 is 20. Carry the 2. 4 times 7 is 28, plus the 2 is 30. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 3 is 23. And when they look at this answer, and they can then check with their estimate, okay, my answer should be around 24. If I put my decimal there, that means 230. That doesn't sound right. So if I put my decimal here, okay, that's 23. That sounds right. Ding ding, 23. And they can put their decimal there. That's just using estimation in number sense. Another rule is we can move the decimal out 2 times. So it's 575 times 4, and we'll get 2,300. Then we have to remember to move the decimal. So we moved it out. We have to remember to move the decimal back 2 times. 1, 2. And there it lands at 23. Now here is a rule to memorize. I prefer that they use this estimation technique and use their number sense. But either way is fine. Let's look at another problem. Here's something a little more abstract for the students to wrap their brain around. A word problem could be something like a gallon of gas costs $2.56. They filled up with 9.1 gallons. So something like that. You can see here repeated addition won't work here. They can't add up 2 and 56 or $2.56 9.1 times. I've seen students try it, but then they get stuck. So this is where they really need to be able to know how to multiply. And this is where estimation really helps out too, in their number sense. So I tell them to round that 2 and 5600ths, and they'll round it to a 3. Then I say round that 9 and 1/10, and they'll round it to a 9. And if we're going to go ahead with this word problem here at 9.1 gallons of gas, or 9 and 1/10 gallons at $2.56 a gallon, what's the total? That would be our question. How much did it cost to fill up? They know that their answer then should be around $27. So this is using estimation. And it's my preferred way because it really builds in number sense. Now let's go ahead and solve this. 2 and 5600ths times 9 and 1/10, and we're going to multiply this. This really kind of freaks students out if I just say go ahead and multiply this and we'll worry about the decimal later because we know the answer is going to be around 27. They want to tend to line up their decimal place. So one way to help them is just say, let's just move that decimal out. So we move that decimal out, we move that decimal out, we move the decimal 3 times this way. And now they seem to be okay with that. Let's go ahead and multiply. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. We're now in the tens place. So keep my 0. 9 times 6 is 54. Carry the 5. 9 times 5 is 45, plus 5 is 50. Put my 5 here. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 5 is 23. I'm going to see what my total is. I get 6, 9, 2, 3, 2. Alright, so I get this answer. If we know my answer is going to be around 27, which is my estimate over here, or if I was doing my word problem, $27, I can see it right now. I'm going to put my decimal right there. It's going to be a 23 whole and then some change left over. Another way is to go back to this right here and move the decimal. Move the decimal 3 times to the right. So let's move the decimal back 3 times to the left. 1, 2, 3. And that's a total line right there. 23 and 296 thousandths is our answer. If you want to go back up here to this whole word problem that we worked with, which we do, which I do with students, we say, well, let's look at the money, $23.29. That makes sense. Or we can round it, which is what cash registers do. They'll round it. And our answer is going to be $23.30 to fill up our gas. So that is multiplying a decimal by a whole number and a decimal by a decimal.